Hi y'all, it is Sunday afternoon, a rainy Sunday afternoon. I am headed to work. Speaking of work, have a lot of updates on that front. I was traveling quite a bit in June. I went to Los Angeles to work a strike. A large healthcare system apparently was going to go on strike out in California. Didn't really want to go, but girlfriend talked me into it. And after a very traumatic plane ride from Dallas-Fort Worth into Los Angeles, and having my bag taken by someone else, I honestly believe it was an honest mistake. I mean, black carry-on bags look identical, and she was kind enough to return it back to the baggage claim at the Los Angeles airport. So no harm, no foul. It just wasn't the best start to the trip. So I'm going out there to work. I'm supposed to be out there for at least 10 days working. 4 hours after my plane finally lands in LAX, and this was after an hour and a half spent on the runway with the engines cut off because we were reaching the minimum amount of fuel required for takeoff according to our pilot, which I still don't understand why he told us that. I kind of wish he would have kept that to himself. But I guess he had to explain why he was cutting the engines off. But anyway, a series of bad storms hit Dallas-Fort Worth. And so we sat out on the runway for almost 2 hours. And then it was extremely turbulent takeoff. And so I was adequately traumatized by the time I got to LAX. And so when I discovered that my bag, which I had insisted on carry-on, that's the funniest thing, is all my friends were laughing at me because I was like, I'm not checking the bag, even though the company that we contracted with was willing to pay for one checked bag. I just didn't want to fool with baggage claim. So that was the irony in the whole thing. So there were so many people on the plane, I think, when and it had been just a bad experience. I think honestly the lady just grabbed the first black bag that looked like hers and left the plane. And so, again, no harm, no foul, nothing came of it other than I had to stand in the line for a really long time to get my bag back. And I'm grateful that I got it back. So, 4 hours after everything, we get there, the strike's canceled. So, because all of and that's another thing, like 500 flights that either connected through Dallas-Fort Worth or their final destination was Dallas-Fort Worth had been canceled, like literally minutes before I got back at the airport to claim my bag. So I had to stand in an extremely long line because all the people who had checked their luggage onto the plane that they thought they were going to get to fly out on were trying to get their luggage back and scramble to find a hotel there at LAX. So I finally get my bag back. I get back to the hotel. One of the nurses walks up to me and she holds her phone up. She goes, "Have you seen this?" I said, "No, what?" And I read it. I was like, "Strike canceled." Great. So then we're all just scrambling, trying to get the flights out. Well, everyone who had been bumped, this is Sunday night, about 8 o'clock now, everyone who had been bumped from the Sunday night flight and the people who were scheduled to fly out anyway on Monday, they got priority. So we were told that in all likelihood it was going to be at least Wednesday before we would be able to fly back home. So my girlfriend and I decide, well, shoot, by Wednesday, and we live in Louisiana, so LA to LA, in our minds we're like, oh, we could probably just rent a car and be home Wednesday, Thursday. But then we decided to make a road trip out of it. So Monday morning, she had already rented a car to sightsee in the Los Angeles area because she got out there before I did, a couple of days before I did. And there was just no way. I had 2 boys going to camp. There was just no way that I could leave town before Sunday because there was no way I could put that off on my husband trying to get 2 boys ready to go to 2 different camps. Well, I guess I could have, but I just wouldn't have felt real good about it. And so she already had the car, so she called her rental place. She said, look, can I just return it to, we decided we're going to Vegas. We're gonna do a road trip to Vegas. And it turned out to be the most fun. We saw a sign for historic Route 66 somewhere in California. So we got off the main road and we did some exploring. I'll be honest, didn't track a single thing on this trip. Kind of ate what I wanted to, where I wanted to, when I wanted to. So we do 2 nights in Las Vegas. Got a great deal on Groupon for the Hard Rock Hotel Casino. We just had the best time. And it's one of those things, my mom, I don't know if I've even shared this with y'all. It's kind of been a whirlwind. June was just a whirlwind. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and she's got the non-smoker's lung cancer, and it's already in her brain, in her hips, and then it's in her lung. And so it's crazy because she literally went in with knee pain. She's in her 70s. She has 0 bad habits. She's never had a weight issue. And so anyway, it came as a complete shock. And so this trip was a great little kind of a respite reprieve. I knew my boys were at camp. I wasn't having to worry about them. My mom was in good hands. My dad is there too. My brothers and my sister-in-law are right across the pasture from them. So the trip was great. But so anyway, my girlfriend and I, we go to Vegas. We do Route 66, and it's fantastic. And then we go to Vegas, and we stay 2 nights in Vegas. Well, when her mom found out we were going to Vegas, she said, hey, I'm going to stop and she went and got her sister, and she brought my friends 2 girls, and they came to Vegas in a motorhome. And we were all going to ride back to Louisiana from Las Vegas in this motorhome. But I decided to go to Las Vegas Airport, rent a car, and I was just going to make my way back on my own, because at this point, I just said the heck with it. As long as I'm home by Father's Day, or the day before Father's Day, I'm just going to go for it and just kind of do my own thing, my own road trip. Because I'm going to be honest, I've been married for 25 years. I've been a mom for nearly 15 years. It has been a long, long time since I have ever done anything by myself. And certainly never in my lifetime have I done something like this. So I decided to take advantage of this opportunity and just make the most of it. And so I did. And I rented a car at Las Vegas Airport, and I went to Hoover Dam, I went to the Grand Canyon, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Oh, stood on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Went to Williams, Arizona, Flagstaff, Arizona, a lot of different little places that have the Route 66. Just a lot of new experiences, and it was great because the scenery was constantly changing. I'm from the deep south. I'm from Louisiana. So pretty much I've always lived here. I've traveled a little bit. I've been to California a few times. I've been to different parts of the United States, even went to Mexico once. So I just took advantage of it, and had a fantastic time. So that's what I did. That was a whole week right there in June. I still ended up getting home not as quickly as I had flown, and I even could have caught a flight out of Las Vegas, but that wasn't the point. I wanted that road trip experience, and I just needed that time to kind of in my head go through some things. Well, before I left to go to Los Angeles, I had interviewed for a job, a professor position at a local university. That was before I left on the trip. When I got back, I got notification that I got the job, and I'm really excited about that. I have homeschooled both of my boys. My oldest one went to school. He started school 2 years ago. He's going to be in his 3rd year of real school, I think is what they called it when they. And now my little one, who just turned 13, he's decided he'd like to try real school too. So lot of changes. I've always homeschooled and continued to work part-time while homeschooling both boys full-time. But then with the changes, knowing that both boys were going to be in school, I decided, well, I'm going to start looking for a job. And this is perfect. It's a 9-month professor position. And the great thing about it is that I will have essentially the same breaks as my boys do. You know, in terms of holiday breaks. I don't think there's any other job besides being a school teacher where it would come close to me having essentially the same time off as my sons. And my youngest is just turned 13. My oldest is going to be a freshman in high school when school starts back. So the opportunity to still have my summers with them and have that time, make the most of that time, because you know, once I'm told, and I know it's going by really quick, once they hit the high school age, you know, it's going to fly, and he's going to be in college. And even the little one, I mean, it's not going to be long. They're going to be gone, you know. So I treasure my time as a mom. I treasure the opportunity to have that time with those boys. And so I'm excited. And I've always wanted to be a college professor. I went to school. I graduated with my PhD in 2006, but I put all that on hold because my youngest son was born in 2006. And I never felt the time was really right to pursue it. But I feel like everything's just kind of lined up now. I mentioned my mom's diagnosis. That's just weighs heavy on my heart. You know, they can't cure her is what they've told her. It is treatable, and she's going to start an oral chemotherapy soon. And I don't know how she's going to, you know, we don't know how she's going to react to that, how that's going to go. I am very fortunate. I am approximately 45 minutes to an hour from my parents, so it's not hard for me to get up there to see them, to check on them. But they're also independent people who are just keep saying, well, you've got your own life to live. All they want me to do is take care of my family. They don't want me to worry about them. They don't want me to focus on them. They just want me to focus on my life and taking care of my boys, which, as y'all know, is impossible when your mom and my dad is affected by this too. It's not just my mom. It's our whole family. Wow, I have really used this time with y'all as a therapy session, but anyway, that kind of brings us all up to date on everything. I told you about the new job. I told you what I've been doing, a lot of traveling in June. I did gain 3.8 pounds, but not stressed out about that because it was a great time. I mean, and I did eat. I ate a lot of really good food, and it's okay. 3.8 pounds, that's not going to be hard for me to take off. It's very manageable. I'm going to show y'all in some other videos. I went hiking at the Grand Canyon. I went hiking out west. Did a lot of really fun things on the Route 66. So I'll share all of that with y'all. I brought you up to date on the job. Oh, one more thing. I had switched to doing online a few months ago. Yeah, gosh, it's been 6 months ago maybe now. No, anyway, I switched to doing online. Tomorrow I'm going back to meetings, so I'm gonna be weighing in going back to meetings. I'm going to a new meeting. I am committing 100% to going to meetings, and so that kind of brings us up to date on everything. I'm headed to my job. I haven't quit my current job. I don't even know if I will. It was a part-time job, and if I can manage it along with what my teaching schedule is, I'm going to try to keep both jobs and manage all that. But anyway, I'll check in with y'all again soon. I'll try to get the footage uploaded from the hiking at the Grand Canyon, which was amazing, and maybe a road trip. So just be looking for all that. Don't look for road trip Weight Watcher tips because I didn't follow the plan at all. I just focused on fun and just kind of, ooh, this is rough. Anyway, I'll check in with y'all later. Thank you so much. And I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.